In this video, I'll show you interesting example how ChatGPT helped me to refactor the code that I wrote in Playwright to delete records from the web table. So I was helping one of my students to figure this out, and the solution that ChatGPT offered actually surprised me because I have never ever used this approach in my entire test automation career. So it looks pretty interesting. Let me show you what was it about. So this is our test application, and the scenario is pretty simple. We need to add several rows of specialties into this table using add button, and then delete those rows from the table. So we wanted to create a method that delete all specialties with the same name if there are duplications. So let me show you the test itself. The test is pretty simple. So first we want specialty test1, that adds specialty test2, then add test1 again. So we totally add 4 specialties. And then we have a single method delete specialty, and we want to delete all rows with the specialty test1, something like that. And here in the page object, we have a method delete specialty. This was the initial method implementation. So let me walk you through the steps. So first, we want to wait for all data to be loaded to the page, waiting for the selector tBody input. Then the next step, we get the locator for all table rows. And after that, we want to loop through all table rows, extracting the value from each row. And if the value of the row is equals to the specialty name that we pass as an argument into this method, so in this example, test1, we then want to click delete button inside of this row, and then after that wait for the response from the API to make sure that the data is updated on the backend, and we can begin the next cycle of the loop. And we loop one by one, row through row, and if we have the match, then we delete the record from the row. Seems working solution, right? But it not really works as expected. So this was initial approach that one of my students was trying to implement, and it didn't work completely. So let me show you what actually happens when we try to run this test. All right, this happened quickly, but I think you saw that it was able to add 4 specialties. Then it's deleted 2 of the specialties with test1 name, but it did not delete the last one, the third specialties. Well, let's look at what happened in the test. If we look at the test, that's the error message that happened. Waiting for locator, tBody tr, and 7 and locator input. So Playwright was not able to find the locator. Look, the index is 7th. Let's see how many rows in the table we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this row with a header, also a table. So we have 7 table, and 7th index is the 8th row in the table. So Playwright was trying to get access to the 8th row in the table, but was not able to find it. Why? Well, because we deleted this table, that's why. And that's the problem of the script. And the reason why it happened, so let me show you right here. So this row that we executed in line number 19, giving us initial list of the rows of the table. How many times do we need to loop through this table? And when we delete the rows right here in line number 23, this value is not updated. So this loop is still running. And that's the reason why Playwright trying to get the next value inside of the row. So what we need to do? We need to update this script somehow to refresh the values of available rows to requery the remaining of the rows before we looping through this again. And this was actually my initial idea how to refactor it. And then I did this. So let me show you what was my solution to this problem. So I wrote this kind of code. So I prepared some of the code in advance just to speed up this video. And I have replaced it with this Command V, quick formatting. So let's look at what we have. So the best idea I was able to come up with is this one. So first we get the total number of the rows in the table. It's to know how many times, the maximum number of times we need to potentially iterate through all records of the row. Then inside of this loop, we get all rows from the table. Then we loop through the rows, extracting all the values and saving all those values inside of this array. And then we have a second loop inside right here, where we are looping through the values that we have collected over here in the beginning. And then if the specialty that we are looking for exists in this list of the values, then we want to delete it. And after that, we wait the record to be updated, and we need to break the loop to start this loop again and again, right? And actually this code works just fine. So let me show you. Okay, we run the test. And yeah, you see it's deleted all records with test 1 just fine. And test 2 remaining in the test, let me delete it manually. All right, and well, it seems fine, right? The code is working, everything is normal. But I was looking into this and I didn't like it. So it's kind of look ugly. And I thought, okay, what can be a better solution than this? And I asked ChatGPT to refactor this code for me. And I say like, hey, ChatGPT, I have a working solution. This is the method that is deleting the values from the web table. And it's working, but I don't like it. Can you make it better? Can you make it nicer, more compact, and look more elegant solution? The first reply from ChatGPT was like, hey, this is the solution. And it just didn't work. And I said, hey, dude, it's just the wrong solution. Give me something better. And then the second reply, I was like, wow, what is that? I have never seen in my life anything like that. And that's the solution that ChatGPT offered. So let me show you this. And I getting this code and replacing all this stuff with this. So first of all, look, it's significantly more compact than it was before. And the idea that ChatGPT gave me here is use a backward loop. So here, instead of doing I++, we are doing I minus minus. And technically what we do, we are looping through the rows of our table from the bottom. So we start from the last row, then the previous row, and so on to the top. And then after that, we reduce the index of the row by 1. And when we delete the row in the table, we effectively reduce the number of the rows. And when this loop continues, we effectively avoid the situation when we try to get the row of the table that is deleted, because we continuously reduce the number of the rows by reducing the index. So that's how smart it was. And to be honest, I've never used anything like that in my automation scripting before. So I found this solution pretty interesting. And by the way, one more thing. When I was preparing for this video, unfortunately, I did not save my conversation with ChatGPT when I got this solution. And I tried to recreate, okay, to prepare this video, I wanted to show you how I, talk with ChatGPT and it given me this solution. But no, when I was trying to recreate this conversation, it didn't work. So when I asked ChatGPT to refactor my code, this one, trying to get this result, it didn't work. It offered significantly worse solution than this one. So unfortunately, I was not able to show you the full picture how all that happened. All right, guys, that's all for today. Hit the like button and subscribe. And also you can find useful links in the description down below. And I see you in the next video.